Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Amritpal Singh. Coming up in the next 1 hour, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with workers at a camp in Kuwait, addresses the Indian community there, calls India of the future the hub of global development. US Congress passes the stopgap spending bill averting government shutdown. The bill is now with the President for the final nod. Amidst calls to step down, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau shakes up his cabinet, replaces those unwilling to contest the election. And the first World Meditation Day observed under the theme Inner Peace, Global Harmony. India leads the celebrations at the United Nations headquarters. Live meditation session led by spiritual guru Sri Ravi Shankar. Well, the top story, Prime Minister is in Kuwait. Prime Minister Narendra Modi touched down at the Kuwait city today, commencing a historic 2-day visit. This is the first visit of an Indian Prime Minister to Kuwait in 43 years. He received a warm welcome at his arrival and was received by Kuwait's first Deputy Prime Minister, Sheikh Fahad Yusuf Saud Al Sabah, and several other ministers and dignitaries at the airport. Prime Minister Modi's visit aims at strengthening the India-Kuwait friendship across various sectors and deepening India's historical linkages with Kuwait, as the two nations have shared interest in peace, security and stability in West Asia. In a social media post, Prime Minister Modi said his visit will strengthen the India-Kuwait friendship across various sectors. And upon his arrival at the hotel in Kuwait, Prime Minister received a warm welcome from the members of the Indian community, which is the largest expatriate community in Kuwait. The Indian diaspora has a population of over 1 million people, forming a living bridge between India and Kuwait. And the first program of his visit to Kuwait, Prime Minister Modi visited a workers' camp at the Mina Abdullah area of Kuwait with a workforce of around 1,500 Indian nationals. The Prime Minister interacted with a cross-section of Indian workers from different states of India and inquired about their well-being. And this visit to the workers' camp is symbolic of the importance attached by the Prime Minister to the welfare of Indian workers abroad. In the last few years, the government has undertaken several technology-based initiatives such as e-migrate portal, the Madad portal and upgraded Prasar Bharati Bima Yojana for the welfare of the Indian workers abroad. The Indian community is the largest expatriate community in Kuwait. Indians constitute about 21% of the total population of Kuwait and 30% of its workforce. And the Indian workers top the private sector as well as the domestic sector workforce list. According to the Indian Embassy in Kuwait, Indian exports to Kuwait reached $2 billion for the first time, while investments by the Kuwait Investment Authority in India has exceeded $10 billion US dollars. And the Prime Minister addressed a large gathering of Indian community in Kuwait later in a special event called Hala Modi. This was held at the Sheikh Saad Al Abdullah Indoor Sports Complex in the city. Indian nationals representing a cross-section of the community in Kuwait attended the event. The Prime Minister was welcomed by the community with exceptional warmth and enthusiasm. Addressing the Indian Diaspora event, the Indian Prime Minister said that India and Kuwait share a relationship rooted in civilizational ties and mutual affection.
भारत और कुवैत का रिश्ता सभ्यताओं का है, सागर का है, स्नेह का है, व्यापार कारोबार का है। भारत और कुवैत अरब सागर के दो किनारों पर बसे हैं। हमें सिर्फ डिप्लोमेसी ने ही नहीं कि दिलों ने आपस में जोड़ा है।
And Prime Minister Modi highlighted that Kuwait helped India when it needed the most by providing liquid oxygen to the country. The Prime Minister added that India too supported Kuwait during the COVID-19 pandemic by sending vaccines to Kuwait.
जब भारत को सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत पड़ी तो कुवैत ने हिंदुस्तान को लिक्विड ऑक्सीजन की सप्लाई दी। हिज हाइनेस द क्राउन प्रिंस ने खुद आगे आकर सबको तेजी से काम करने के लिए प्रेरित किया। मुझे संतोष है कि भारत ने भी कुवैत को वैक्सीन भेजकर इस संकट से लड़ने का साहस दिया। भारत ने अपने पोर्ट्स खुले रखे ताकि कुवैत और इसके आसपास के क्षेत्रों में खाने पीने की चीजों का कोई अभाव ना हो।
Applauding the country's achievements, the Prime Minister said that India is the 5th largest economy in the world. It's home to the world's #1 fintech ecosystem and the 3rd largest startup ecosystem globally.
आज भारत दुनिया की 5वीं सबसे बड़ी इकोनॉमी है। आज दुनिया का #1 फिनटेक इकोसिस्टम भारत में है। आज दुनिया का 3रा सबसे बड़ा स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम भारत में है। आज भारत दुनिया का 2रा सबसे बड़ा मोबाइल निर्माता देश है। मैं आपको एक आंकड़ा देता हूं और सुनकर आपको भी अच्छा लगेगा। बीते 10 साल में भारत ने जितना ऑप्टिकल फाइबर बिछाया है, भारत में जितना ऑप्टिकल फाइबर बिछाया है उसकी लंबाई वो धरती और चंद्रमा की दूरी से भी 8 गुना अधिक है।
And Prime Minister Modi also highlighted that the countries around the world are opening their doors to India's skilled workforce.
भारत ने हाल के वर्षों में करीब 2 दर्जन देशों के साथ माइग्रेशन और रोजगार से जुड़े समझौते किए। इनमें गल्फ कंट्रीज के अलावा जापान, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, फ्रांस, जर्मनी, मॉरिशस, यूके और इटली जैसे देश शामिल हैं। दुनिया के देश भी भारत की स्किल्ड मैन पावर के लिए दरवाजे खोल रहे हैं। साथियों, विदेशों में जो भारतीय काम कर रहे हैं, उनके वेलफेयर और सुविधाओं के लिए भी अनेक देशों से समझौते किए जा रहे हैं.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with members of the Indian diaspora in Kuwait. The Indians in Kuwait warmly welcomed the Prime Minister with colourful performances by artists. Listen in to what they have to say about their meeting with the Prime Minister.
About the development and the rank of India in the world. For the India is fifth in economy. That's all.
Now Modi is always good, always brilliant. He conclude everything from the beginning to the end. Development of India, relation of Kuwait, everything very nice. We were very excited for Modi. Hip hip hooray! Modi hai to mumkin hai.
43 years, first time is coming. 43 years after 43 years, it's great. Yeah, and the speech is awesome. Yeah, and we are very lucky to see the Modi and his speech, and we are here presently. It's a lifetime achievement.
And in Kuwait, in a humanitarian gesture, the Prime Minister met with Mangal Sen Handa. He is a 101-year-old former Foreign Service officer. And after a request on the social media X by his granddaughter, Prime Minister Narendra Modi responded to the social media request, showing how he connects with Indian citizens across the world. The Prime Minister received a heartwarming welcome by the Indian diaspora in Kuwait. And another rare meet, the Prime Minister met with Abdullah Al-Baron and Abdullah Latif Al-Nasif in Kuwait. Abdullah Al-Baron has translated both Ramayana and Mahabharat in Arabic, while Abdul Latif published the Arabic versions of Ramayana and Mahabharat. During the meet, the Prime Minister also signed a copy of both Indian epics. Prime Minister Modi had also spoken about their efforts in one of his Man Ki Baat episodes. And my colleague Akshay Dongre now joins us from Kuwait City. He's covering the Prime Minister's visit there. Akshay, give us a sense of, we know that he's met the workers at the workers' camp, and he's also addressed the Indian community at that stadium. First of all, bring us up to speed with, does the Prime Minister have any other programs today?
Well, Amrit, first of all, let me show you around the background where I am standing right now. This is the venue where the Hala Modi event took place. In fact, as you can see, there are a lot of people here. Most of them are part of the event organizer team. And, 90% of them.
Akshay, yes. Can I ask you what Hala Modi means? What does Hala mean in Arabic?
Well, it's like howdy Modi.
It's like hello.
If we put it in perspective for our viewer, it's like hello Modi. It's like welcome Modi. So this is what the message is for Prime Minister Narendra Modi here by Kuwait. It's not just the Indian diaspora that is saying hala Modi, but the Kuwaiti people as well. In fact, I spoke just a while back to a very renowned Hindi singer who is a Kuwaiti, and will be putting out that video very soon for a viewer as well, who sings songs of Kishore Kumar, Arijit Singh, in fact, a Vaishnav Jan song of Mahatma Gandhi as well. The cultural connect is quite visible as far as the cultural similarities are concerned between the two countries. In fact, we have been traveling across Kuwait, and some things that we have seen have really surprised us. There are a lot of Indians here who work, who are respected by the Kuwaiti community. In fact, every third person that you you speak to knows either Hindi or some kind of an Indian, some of an Indian language, be it Tamil, Malayalam, or Kannada, Marathi, Gujarati. So there are. It is in a way, when I visited the labor camp as well, it was kind of a mini India where a Prime Minister interacted with a Gujarati, PM interacted with a person from Maharashtra, from Andhra, from Gujarat, from Tamil Nadu, and in fact the cultural connect was quite visible as far as the country is concerned. So the expatriate community, which forms over a million, is a very strong living bridge between the two cultures, between the two countries, and that was quite visible during this event as well. So Prime Minister has a lot of engagements lined up. Tomorrow he will be meeting with the Emir, with the Prime Minister, with the Crown Prince, and there will be a lot of signing of agreements, of memorandums of understanding, and we can expect both the countries to ramp up their bilateral relations to a new level. In fact, a new chapter to begin between India and Kuwait as far as their bilateral relations are concerned.
Okay. So you are at the Hala Modi event venue. That's where he addressed the Indian diaspora. Give us a sense of how was the Indian diaspora connecting to him?
In fact.
Yeah. Go ahead.
In fact, let us just speak to the Indian diaspora members here as well. We'll invite other people as well. Sir, may I know your name first?
My name is Ravi Reddy.
Ravi Reddy. So you're from Andhra.
Yes, we are Andhra.
How was the event like for you, the Hala Modi event? What was the feeling like to see Prime Minister in person?
After 43, I am working here from 30 years. Right. This is the first time happened like this, but very exciting.
Very exciting.
Very exciting.
So have you been waiting for Prime Minister to come for past 7
years? Yes, sure. We are working. Actually, we are all working under here, and from almost 1 week we are working here already.
Right.
And we are finally success. We are happy, and you saw already how.
And how was listening to the Prime Minister today here at the event?
Very. He's about for Kuwait. Yeah, about Kuwait. He's. And he give the very good words also, and
Do you think, my last question would be, do you think that this visit by Prime Minister is going to strengthen the bilateral relations between the two countries?
Yes, sure. This is coming good relation, and actually our Prime Minister so many help here before also. From this country also helping, and his very speech also very
happy
nice.
About this.
Very nice speech. Very nice speech.
So this is just one person. As far as the opinion is concerned, it's almost the same across Kuwait, Kuwait city. Wherever we travel, people are asking that when is Modi coming? When is Modi coming? It's not the Indian diaspora members; it's the Kuwaiti people who are in fact waiting in anticipation, who were waiting in anticipation, and now with Prime Minister here, clearly this is making news across the country. With the Prime Minister of one of the largest country being in Kuwait, and how the relations can improve from here on between the two countries. Back to you.
Okay. So the Diaspora Connect is there. He praised the diaspora, said that you're an integral part of the development story of India.
Absolutely.
And invited them to come and work, invest in India, and be a part of that story. Let's come to the bilateral part of the visit.
True.
What are you gathering? What would be the key focus? Would it be trade? Would it be defense? What would be the key focus of the talks tomorrow?
Well, I think that from the information that we have been gathering from the kind of trends that we have seen as far as the trade between the two countries is concerned, the relation between the two countries, there is going to be focus of the Prime Minister on the pillars of this friendship. That is cultural connect, that is the diaspora, that is trade between the two countries, energy security, pharmaceutical. There is IT industry that India has a lot to offer to Kuwait when it comes to the IT industry. When it comes to the energy security, Kuwait, as we have been talking about how important Kuwait is for India's energy security needs. Kuwait is 6th largest crude oil supplier, after all, 4th largest LPG supplier to India. It is a huge source of FDI as well. In fact, the Kuwaiti investment Development Authority has invested over $10 billion US dollars in the last fiscal year. The trade is also going up, but there is a lot of potential that remains as far as trade is concerned. So trade definitely is going to be one such area. Education, Amritpal, there are about 26 CBSE affiliated schools that are functioning here in Kuwait, where people can also learn Hindi. There is a lot of soft power of India that is playing here. People know songs of Bollywood. People speak Hindi who have no connection to India. They also know a bit of Hindi because of Bollywood. So the cultural ties is going to be one such pillar which will be focused upon. Sports, Prime Minister is currently is also taking part in the football match as well, as far as attending that match is concerned. So there is going to be sports that is going to be focused, pharmaceutical industry, IT, trade between the two countries, energy security, other areas like artificial intelligence also is one key focus where Prime Minister Narendra Modi, wherever he goes, he focuses on that as well. So in that field as well, there can be certain exchanges between the two countries.
All right. Akshay Dongre, many thanks for joining us for the moment. You keep a track of the Prime Minister's engagements there. Thank you very much for now. And still to come up on DD India News Hour, a car ramming attack on a German Christmas market kills 5 people, more than 200 injured. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz pays tributes. Russia's Kazan airport suspends flight arrivals and departures following a Ukrainian tournament. Well, France commences the withdrawal of its military forces from Central African nation of Chad.
Pollution of all types across the globe is a huge problem. But what is the solution to this? Does it require individual efforts, community action, or state interference? Let's take a look at some of the possibilities, challenges and opportunities.
They have to segregate their waste, manage their organic waste within their premises as far as possible. They have to hand over the rest of the waste, the residual waste, to the authorized waste collector.
When the local administration saw what I had done, it decided to build the drainage system you see here, connecting the whole area to it.
Trees are our lifesavers. They give us oxygen, and it's unfair to harm them by hammering iron nails into them just for the sake of ads.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Amritpal Singh. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz visited the attack site of a Christmas market in Magdeburg, where at least 5 people were killed and over 200 were injured on Saturday in a car ramming attack. Scholz paid tributes to the victims by laying flowers at the market. He was accompanied by his Interior Minister Nancy Faeser. Addressing the media, Scholz described the incident as an awful crime and condemned the terrible catastrophe. He called on the nation to stand together against hate.
This is a terrible, tragic event in which we must all show our sympathy for the relatives, for the injured and for the city of Magdeburg. And that is why, as Federal Chancellor, I would like to assure you of the solidarity of the entire country and all those who bear responsibility in Germany in this matter. This is deeply moving and we will and must stand together here.
According to the authorities, the attack occurred when a car deliberately rammed into a crowd of people at the market. resulting in multiple fatalities and injuries. Emergency response teams, including around 100 firefighters and 50 rescue personnel, were quickly deployed to the scene to assist the wounded and transport them to nearby hospitals. Officials described the incident as an intentional attack and announced that the driver has been taken into custody at the scene. The Interior Minister for Saxony-Anhalt, Tamara Zeschang, identified the suspect as a 50-year-old doctor from Saudi Arabia who arrived in Germany in 2006. Following the attack, Saudi Arabia condemned the ramming attack at a Christmas market and expressed solidarity with Germany after one of its nationals was arrested. And world leaders also expressed condolences for the victims of the attack in Germany. Taking to social media, the president of the European Council on X said that he was appalled by the horrific news from Magdeburg, adding that the EU stands in solidarity with Germany. French President Emmanuel Macron expressed his profound shock and sadness over the attack. In a post on X, the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni expressed solidarity with Germany, describing the event as a concern of security. The U.S. Congress has passed a funding bill that averts the government shutdown. The bill, which was passed with a bipartisan effort, will fund the government at current levels through March 14. More in this report.
The U.S. Senate, in the early hours of Saturday, passed a stopgap funding package, defying President-elect Donald Trump's demand to greenlight trillions of dollars in new debt. The bill was passed after two failed attempts, averting a government shutdown that would have furloughed thousands of federal workers and bring a tumultuous week in the Congress to a close.
I have very good news for my colleagues and for the country. Democrats and Republicans have just reached an agreement that will allow us to pass the CR tonight before the midnight deadline. After a chaotic few days in the House, it's good news that the bipartisan approach in the end prevailed. It's a good lesson for next year. Both sides have to work together.
The U.S. Senators voted 85-11 to approve a continuing resolution that extends funding at current levels until March 14, provides more than $100 billion in disaster assistance to areas ravaged by hurricanes and other storms, includes economic assistance for farmers. Some Republicans voted against the package because it did not cut spending. U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson said the party will have more influence next year when they will have majorities in both chambers of the Congress and Trump will be in the White House. Earlier, the bill was passed in the House of Representatives with 341 to 82 votes.
We are really grateful that tonight, in bipartisan fashion, with overwhelming majority of votes, we passed the American Relief Act of 2025. This is a very important piece of legislation. It funds the government, of course, until March of 2025. That was a big priority for us.
Spending plan, known as a continuing resolution, has a bipartisan support. It would fund government through March 14. Deal contains nearly $100 billion in disaster aid and $10 billion more in banking relief for farmers. It would also extend Farm Bill by 1 year, will continue to allow more seniors to use telehealth and reform how pharmacy benefits managers, known as PBMs, operate. More disaster aid funding. Deal would provide nearly $100 billion to help Americans recover from natural disasters. Funding is in line with roughly $100 billion top-line request from Biden administration in November. Bill includes $10 billion in economic aid for farmers. Spending agreement includes 1-year extension of the Farm Bill. The bill will now head to President Joe Biden's desk for his signatures. Antara Sinha's report for DD India.
In Canadian politics, the future of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's leadership now hangs in balance as he faces a prolonged political crisis, prompting a cabinet reshuffle amid growing turmoil within his party. The reshuffle follows surprise resignation of Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland and the rising tensions within his own party. Adding to his troubles, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh. Now, NDP is a party that supports Justin Trudeau's government. Jagmeet has announced plans for a no-confidence motion, while Trudeau's own party member Chandra Arya is urging him to step down.
After finding himself in the political battle of his life, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau shook up his cabinet on Friday, making changes to one-third of his team as political turmoil threatens his leadership. In this cabinet reset, 8 new ministers were appointed to replace those in the 35-member cabinet who have announced they will not seek re-election. 4 current ministers were reassigned to new responsibilities. Newly appointed ministers defended Trudeau's leadership.
As I was saying, politics is about choices. Very often those are difficult choices. I think the Prime Minister was quite clear that he has a choice that he's reflecting on.
The reshuffle came at the end of a chaotic week in Ottawa, triggered by the surprise resignation of Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland, who had clashed with Prime Minister Trudeau over Trump's threats to impose sweeping tariffs on Canadian imports. The key question now is how Trudeau will react to his new team, especially given the widespread criticism that he is overly reliant on the advice of his political advisors, often heeding their counsel more than that of his own caucus.
There has been a lot of criticism that he is unduly reliant on the advice, or he heeds the advice of his political advisors far more than he heeds the advice of his caucus. Like the MPs, when MPs go to Ottawa, they expect to have some say, and then they find out that they don't really have some say because so much of the advice is being given by his advisors.
Trudeau's hold on power is in jeopardy after new Democratic Party leader Jagmeet Singh announced plans to introduce a motion of no confidence in the Trudeau-led minority government next year. If the NDP withdraws its support, it could be the final blow to Trudeau. After Trudeau's ally Jagmeet Singh's NDP announced plans to support a no-confidence motion, his own party member Chandra Arya wrote to him urging him to step aside. In the letter to Trudeau, Arya wrote, and I quote, "With all parties united to vote on a motion of no confidence, I believe it is time for you to step aside as a leader of the Liberal caucus immediately." Unquote. This has added to the uncertainty surrounding the future of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's leadership in the country.
Well, let's right now go over live to Kuwait, where the Prime Minister is at the Gulf Football Cup, the opening of the Gulf Football Cup.
يتفضل الآن حضرة صاحب السمو أمير البلاد الشيخ مشعل الأحمد الجابر الصباح حفظه الله ورعاه للإيذان ببدء حفل افتتاح بطولة كأس الخليج العربي 26 لكرة القدم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نرحب بكم جميعا في هذا المحفل الرياضي الذي يجمعنا في دولة الكويت أرض المحبة والسلام، ويعكس الروح الأخوية الرياضية بين شعوبنا الخليجية. بسم الله وبعون من الله سبحانه نفتتح دورة كأس الخليج العربي 26 لكرة القدم.
صوت الراحلين، صوت الأجداد الأوليين اللي تعبوا وما استسلموا، اصبروا وما جزعوا، خطوا الصحاري بإرادة وعزيمة عشان يوفرون لهم ولنا حياة كريمة. وش أقول وش أحكي عن البحر، عن أجدادنا اللي شافوا الويل بالغوص والسفر، غاصوا أعماقه وصارعوا أمواجه، تحدوا العواصف اللي ما ترحم، شقوا علشان نوقف ونتقدم. هذول أجدادنا، رجال صبر وأفعال، خلطوا الحداء باليامان، لا ردهم من البر عجاجة ولا هابوا من البحر أمواجه. كانوا بداية القصة اللي ما تنتهي، قصة ماضي نفتخر فيه، حاضر نعيشه ومستقبل نبنيه.
اضرب صلي أصحاب الدين، صلي وسلم عليك يا رسول الله. مسافرين متوكلين على الله،
يتفضل الآن حضرة صاحب السمو أمير البلاد الشيخ مشعل الأحمد الجابر الصباح حفظه الله ورعاه بتحية الجماهير الحاضرة في استاد جابر الأحمد الدولي.
That was live footage that was coming in from Kuwait, where the Prime Minister was at the inauguration of the Arabian Gulf Cup, which is a premier football tournament that has just begun. And he was there at the invitation of the Emir Mishal Al Ahmad Al Jabbar, and also other members of the leadership of Kuwait. And with that, we conclude this special program. That's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour. But let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app as well. Thank you very much for watching. Namaskar.